students, once again I would like to welcome you all to the grammar classes of Imperial College. In our last class we started voice change. We have learned the general rules of voice change starting from present to future tense. Now let us learn some special rules of voice change. We'll start with modal verb. How to change a voice in case of modal verb. So before that, let us know what is a modal verb. As you know, students, verb is divided into principal verb or main verb and auxiliary verb. Auxiliary verb is again divided into two, that is primary auxiliary and modal auxiliary. Is, am, are, was, were, has, have, those are called primary auxiliaries, whereas we have 13 modal auxiliaries: the will, would, shall, should, can, could, may, might, must, need, used to, ought to, and dare. So these are the 13 modal auxiliary verbs. What is a modal verb? Modal auxiliary verbs are those verbs which cannot be used in the sentence alone. Okay, so let us start how to change a voice in case of modal verb, active and passive. So let us start with the structure. Subject plus modal verb plus V1 plus object. That is example. Let me take an example. A simple example. I can play cricket. Number 2, we must drive our vehicle slowly. See, in the sentence, subject, I is the subject, can is the modal verb, play is the verb V1 and cricket is the object. In example number 2, we is the subject, must is the modal verb, drive is the V1 form of verb, our vehicles is the object, and slowly is the other word in the sentence. So how to change? Let us move to passive. The structure in passive will be is new subject plus modal verb plus be plus V3 plus by plus object, new object. If any other words, then it can be adjusted. So the answer will be cricket is the object in the active which becomes new subject. Cricket, modal verb, we have to use the same modal verb. Cricket, can, be, V3 of play is played. Cricket can be played by me. Similarly, in the second sentence, we must drive our vehicles so slowly. Our vehicles is the object which becomes subject in passive. Our vehicles must be driven. Drive, V3 form is drive, drove, driven, must be driven slowly. Slowly is the other words by us. Okay, see, as per the structure, cricket is the new subject, can is the same modal verb, be is according to the structure, played is V3, then by, then our new object is me. In the second sentence, our vehicles is the new object, must is the modal verb, be is as per the structure, driven is the V3 form of drive, slowly is the other word, and us is the object. So one more form of sentence is possible in case of modal verb, that is subject plus modal verb plus have. I am writing the short form modal verb plus have plus V3 plus object. He should have helped the poor. He should have helped the poor. Example 1. Example 2 is I could have written the letter. While going to passive, new subject plus modal verb plus have been plus V3 plus by plus object, new object. Okay, so he should have helped the poor. Here he is the subject, should is the modal verb, have is according to the structure of active, help is the V3 and the poor is the object. Then it will be converted like this. New subject is the poor, modal verb should have been, should plus have been is according to the structure, should have been, V3 form is help, should have been helped by him. The poor should have been helped by him. In second sentence, I could have written the letter. The letter, which is a new subject, the letter could have been written by him, by me. The letter could have been written by me. Okay. So these kind of changes takes place in modal verb sentence. Now let us move to verb plus preposition combination, where in a sentence verb preposition is followed by a verb. Okay, verb plus preposition combination. You should remember, if in a sentence verb plus preposition combination is there, then while turning into passive, you should place the same preposition. Okay, see, subject plus verb plus preposition plus object. The police inquired into the matter. The boy laughed at the girl. See, in both the sentences, if you look, the police is the subject, verb is inquired, and preposition after the verb preposition into is there, and similarly in the second sentence after the verb lot preposition at is there. Okay, so while making into passive, new subject plus auxiliary verb plus V3 plus by plus the same preposition I told you plus by plus object. So the answer will be, as you know, the matter is the new subject. The matter inquired is the past form of verb, so auxiliary verb will be was. The matter was inquired into. The matter was inquired into. That means you have written the same preposition that is there in the question. That if you forget to write into, the answer will be wrong. The matter was inquired into by the police. Similarly, in the second sentence, the boy laughed at the girl. The girl was laughed at. So once again you have placed the preposition at after the verb laugh. The girl was laughed at by the boy. The boy was looking after the baby well. The boy was looking after the baby well. Here similarly, was looking is the verb and after is the preposition. So once again, preposition is there after the verb. So it is in past continuous tense. So the answer will be the baby was being well looked after. Looked is the V3 form, then we have to write after it is the preposition. So once again we have to put the same preposition. The baby was being well looked after by the boy. Okay, so you see in all the sentences where verb plus preposition combination is there, and while writing into passive you have to put the same preposition after the verb. Okay. The next is, if in a sentence two objects are there, if a sentence contains two objects, like sentences with two objects, see this example, my grandmother told me a story. Second one, the teacher teaches teaches us the lesson. See, in both the sentence we are having two objects. I told you how to find an object by questioning the verb by using the words what and who. If you in the first sentence, my grandmother told me a story, what my grandmother told, the answer comes a story. So this is the object. Again, by whom? Whom my grandmother told a story, the answer is me. This is also an object. Okay. So similarly in the second sentence, the teacher teaches us the lesson. Whom the teacher teaches us, what the teacher teaches the lesson. So once again two objects. One is indirect object and another one is direct object. The first part is the indirect object and the second one is the direct object. So me, us, these are indirect object. A story, the lesson, these are direct object. So while changing into passive, you can take either of the objects as the subject. So let's see, if you take the indirect object, that is me, as the subject of the sentence, then my grandmother told me a story, then let us take me as the object in the first. So while converting to passive, I told is in simple past tense. I was told a story by my grandmother. Okay, I was told a story by my grandmother. This is as per the general rule what we have learned. But if you are taking the second object, that is a story, as the subject of the sentence, let's see what changes takes place. If you are taking a story as the subject of the sentence, a story was told to me by my grandmother. Okay, so what I want to make a point is this too. We have to use the preposition to before the passive object. Okay, a story was told to me. If you are taking the direct object as the subject of the sentence, you have to put a preposition to before the indirect object. Okay, passive structure of the indirect object. Similarly, in the sentence number 2, the teacher teaches us the lesson. If we are taking us as the sentence, then it is fine. As per the general rule what we have learned, the teacher teaches us lesson. We are taught the lesson by the teacher. It is as per previous rule. But if you are taking the lesson as the subject, the lesson, then what you have to do, as you have added a preposition to, similarly in the same manner, that the lesson is taught to us. A lesson is taught to us by the teacher. Okay, see, we have again used the preposition to before the passive object as. In both the sentence, we have to use the preposition to. Okay, so now these are sentences with two objects. Now with imperative sentences. What is the imperative sentence? Sentences that gives order, make request, gives advice, those sentences are called imperative sentences. Imperative sentence, that is request, order, advice. Okay, request, order, advice. Let's check out with some sentences. Close the door. Post the letter. Please sit down. kindly do this work. Obey your parents. Obey your parents. Then fire at once. Then one more, last one. Don't pluck flowers. From the garden. So all these are imperative sentences. So imperative sentences can be changed to passive by using let. See the structure is let plus subject, that is the main word, otherwise called subject, plus B plus V3 plus not required. Let close the door. So in this sentence the answer will be let the door be closed. Okay, force the letter. Similarly, this sentence also the answer will be let the letter be posted. Okay, V3 form of post is posted and close is closed. So let plus main word plus P plus V3. Let the door be closed, let the letter be posted. But in the sentence number 3, please sit down. Sentence number 4, kindly do this work. Sentence number 5, obey your parents. Fire at once. From these sentences, it is clear that you are making request. Please sit down. Kindly do this work. Once again, request. Obey your parents. This is a kind of advice. And fire at once. This is a kind of order. So for all the 4 sentences, the procedure to change the voice is you can write you are requested, to, or you are advised to, or you are ordered to, plus the rest of the sentences, excluding the word please and kindly. Okay, if please and kindly are not there in the sentence, so nothing to leave. You have to write everything, all of the sentence. So in the first sentence, please sit down, the answer will be you are requested to sit down. Okay, we have excluded the word please. You are requested to sit down. I told you have to write the rest of the sentence. If please or kindly is there, then you have to leave it and you have to write the rest of the sentence. If they are not there, then nothing to be excluded. Okay, sentence number 2, kindly do this work. Similarly, kindly is there. Okay, you have to exclude this. You are requested to do this work. Similarly, but in sentence number 3, or sentence number 4, it is neither a request, but it is a kind of advice. Obey your parents. So you can write you are advised you are advised to obey your parents. Okay, in sentence number 5, fire at once, it is a kind of order. So you can write, you are ordered to fire at once. And don't pluck flowers from the garden. The last sentence. Don't pluck flowers from the garden. It may be a kind of, you can do it by using let, or also you can think of it as an advice. You can do it either way. So let's do it by first of all by using let. Do not pluck flowers from the garden. Let the flowers not be plucked from the garden. Okay, it is also a kind of advice. Don't pluck flowers from the garden. You can also write, you are advised not to pluck flowers. You are advised not to pluck flowers from the garden. Okay. So imperative sentences we can use either by using let or by using the words you are requested, you are obeyed, you are advised, and you are ordered. Okay. Now coming to interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences. Interrogative sentences. What is interrogative sentence? That asks questions. Interrogative sentences are those sentences that ask questions. Interrogative sentences. Again, interrogative sentences are of two kinds. One is yes/no question and one is double-edged word question. What is yes/no question? Whose answer we have to give either in yes or no. Those questions which starts with the auxiliary verb, or it can be a modal auxiliary or primary auxiliary. Those type of questions are called yes/no questions. And double-edged word questions, as I saw, the double-edged word like what, where, when, how, those are starting with these words. Those are double-edged word questions. So let us first understand how to change into passive in case of yes/no question. Okay. Does he play cricket? Does he play cricket? Question mark. Okay. You have to follow first of all you have to follow the steps. After you become perfect, then it is absolutely no need. You can go to the answer directly. What are the steps to be followed? First, convert the question to a statement. Okay. Convert the question to a statement. Second is convert the statement to passive. Number 3 is shift the auxiliary verb to the front. Or before the subject, you can say. Let's check. Does he play cricket? First thing is convert the question to a statement. How it can be converted to a statement? If the question assertive statement, if the question form is removed. So in the first step it will be he plays cricket. the first step is over. Convert the question to a statement. Second is convert the statement to a passive. Now it can be easily converted to passive. Why? Because you know from the sentence it is a simple present. The sentence is in simple present tense. So cricket is played by him. Okay. So cricket is played by him. Second sentence is convert the statement to a passive. So cricket is played by him. And the third one is shift the auxiliary verb to the front. Which is the auxiliary verb is in the sentence? Is. Is the auxiliary verb. Shift the auxiliary verb to the front or before the subject. So if you get it before the subject, is cricket played by him. Is cricket played by him? Question mark. Okay. One more. Did Valmiki write Ramayana? Did Valmiki write Ramayana? Okay. Similarly, we have to follow the same step. Did Valmiki write Ramayana? If you convert to a statement, did is there in the question. That means it is the sentence is in past simple. So Valmiki, if you convert to a statement, Valmiki wrote Ramayana. Valmiki wrote Ramayana. Then convert the statement to a passive. Ramayana was written by Valmiki. Okay. Then shift the auxiliary verb to the front. Was Ramayana written by Valmiki. Number 3. Have you completed your homework? Have you completed your homework? Convert to a statement. You have completed your homework. Change into passive. Your homework has been completed by you. Get the auxiliary verb to the front. Has your homework been completed? Okay, over. So this is with yes no question. If WH word is there in the sentence, if WH word questions come, then you have to move one step further. How can you drink hot tea? Okay, how can you drink hot tea? How is also a WH word. So what you have to do here is, first of all, omit the WH word. How? You think that how is not there. So, can you drink hot tea? Can you drink hot tea? Again it turn to be a auxiliary verb question. So yes no question. Then if you leave apart this WH word, can you drink hot tea? You can follow the same rule. Can you drink hot tea? Then you can write you can drink hot tea. Hot tea. This is converted to a statement. You can drink hot tea. Okay. Now you can change into passive. Hot tea. Hot tea can be drunk. Hot tea can be drunk. Okay. Then what I told, get the auxiliary verb to the front. Can hot tea be drunk? Can hot tea be drunk? Okay. Then you have to get the same WH word to the front. How can hot tea be drunk? Number 2. When were you playing cricket? When were you playing cricket? When were you playing cricket? So when you don't think that the WH word is there. So were you playing cricket? Okay, this becomes an auxiliary verb question. Were you playing cricket? You have to convert to a statement. You were playing cricket. You were playing cricket. So you were playing cricket. It is in past continuous tense. So convert into passive. Cricket was being played by you. Cricket was being played by you. Okay. Then shift the auxiliary verb to the front. Was cricket being played by you? Shift the auxiliary verb to the get the auxiliary verb before the subject. So was cricket being played by you? Then the next step is get the same WH word to the front. When was cricket being played by you? Question mark. Over. Okay, isn't it easy? You have to follow the same rule, but just by at the end of we have to go one step ahead. We have to get the same WH word before the auxiliary verb in order to complete it. Okay, thank you. We will meet in the next class and we will move further. Thank you, all of you. Hope you all will enjoy the video. Thank you.